Hello grade 6, good day. This is your teacher Eds once again and welcome to our mathematics class. I know you are all excited to learn the new lesson that I had prepared for you. Today, we will tackle direct proportion and at the end of the lesson, you are expected to 1. Find the missing term in a direct proportion and 2. Solve the problem involving direct proportion. But before we start, let us all stand up, bow our heads, and feel the presence of the Almighty.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, praise be to Allah, the cherisher and sustainer of the worlds, most gracious, most merciful, master of the day of judgment. Thee do we worship, and thine aid we seek. Show us the straight way, the way of those to whom thou hast bestowed thy grace, those whose portion is not rough, and who go not astray. Amen.
Do you still remember our lesson in mathematics yesterday, class? Yes, it was about the concept of proportion. Can you do this activity? Here is the direction. Tell either the following ratios form a proportion or not. Answer with yes or no. Let us check our answers. For number 1, yes, because the product of the means 3 times 4 is 12 and the product of the extreme 3 times 6 is also 12. Since they are equal, therefore it is proportional. For number 2, no, because the cross product of two ratios are not equal. 9 times 4 is 36 and 5 times 8 is 40. For number 3, no also, because the product of the means 7 times 4 is 28 and the product of the extreme 3 times 9 is 27. They are not equal. For number 4, the answer is yes, because the cross products 15 times 4 is 60 and 5 times 12 is also 60. For number 5, no. I'm glad that you still remember our lesson yesterday, class. Now I have a question for you. Do you help your mother cook at home? You should, because it will make your mother happy to have a helpful child. Now let us read a short story about a child who always helps her mother cook pancakes for additional income during weekend. Susanna is a grade 6 pupil. During weekends, she helps her mother cook pancakes to be sold in front of her house. In the first hour of Saturday, they were able to sell 20 pancakes and got 200 pesos. Question: how much will they get if they will be able to sell 40 pancakes? How many pancakes were Susanna and mother sold at the first hour? They were able to sell 20 pancakes. How much 20 pancakes cost? 20 pancakes cost 200 pesos. In ratio, we can write it as 20 is to 200 in column form or 20 over 200 in fraction form. What is asked in the problem? The problem asks for the cost of 40 pancakes. We can write it in ratio as 40 is to n in column form or 40 over n in fraction form, where n is the cost of 40 pancakes or the missing number. So we have column 4, 20 is to 200 is equal to 40 is to n. That is our number sentence. And it can be written also in fraction form as 20 over 200 is equal to 40 over n. So we try to solve the problem by using column form of proportion. We call it as solution 1. 20 is to 200 is equal to 40 is to n. So let us try to get the product of the means. 200 times 40, this is 8,000. And the product of the extreme, 20 times n, the answer is 20n. Equate the two products. 20n is equal to 8,000. And then divide both terms by 20, or the number beside the letter. Then 20 divided by 20, it will be 1. And 8,000 divided by 20, the answer is 400. Therefore, 40 pancakes will cost 400 pesos. And based from our number sentence, we come up with the direct proportion 20 is to 200 is equal to 40 is to 400. Let's try to solve using fraction form of proportion, or solution 2. Based from our number sentence, 20 over 200 equals 40 over n. We get the cross product of numerator and the denominator. 200 times 40 equals 8,000. N times 20 equals 20n. Equate the products to come up with the same answer, which is 400. Therefore, 40 pancakes will cost 400 pesos. Based from our number sentence, we will have 20 over 200 is equal to 40 over 400 as our direct proportion. Let us recall our proportion. This is called direct proportion. It is called direct proportion because as the pancakes increases from 20 to 40, the cost also increases from 200 to 400.
And now, let us do the following activities together.
Here is the direction for activity 1. Find the value of n and write direct proportion. Okay, let's solve the problem together. Okay, for number 1, get the product of the means. 3 times 4 is 12, and the product of the extreme, 2 times n, is 2n. The two products. Divide both terms by 2. Then we'll come up with n equals 6. This is our given. Okay, since n equals 6, therefore our direct proportion is 2 is to 3 equals 4 is to 6. If we want to check our answer, just simply multiply the means and also the extreme. If the answers are equal, so this is a proportion. Therefore, our answer is correct. So number 2. So in this case, it is a fraction form. Get the cross product. 9 times 4 is 36. And n times 6 is 6n. Equate the two products. Then divide both terms by 6. Therefore, n equals 6. Okay. Based from our given, we have 4 over 6 equals 6 over 9 as our direct proportion. Get your answer. Get the cross product. And if they are equal, so the answer is correct. Okay, for number 3, get the product of the means. 24, the product of the extreme, 24n. Equate the two products. 24n equals, then divide both terms by 24. And we will have n equals 1. So this from the given again. So we have the direct proportion, 1 is to 4 equals 6 is to 24. Check our answer. So therefore, it is correct. So for number 4, get the cross product. 20 times n is 20n, and 15 times 4 is 60. Equate the two products, and then divide both terms by 20. n equals 3. So based from the given, we have 15 over 20 equals 3/4 as our direct proportion. Here is the direction for activity 2. Construct the proportion from the following problems and solve. For problem number 1, for every 8 mango trees in the orchard, there are 4 star apples. If there are 104 mango trees, how many star apple trees are there? Number 2, in a basketball game, Mike made 5 shots in 7 tries. And at this rate, how many shots can he make in 14 tries? Okay, let us solve problem number 1. First step is to construct the number sentence. 8 is to 4 equals 104 is to n. Then get the product of the extreme 8n to n and the product of the means 4n 104. We have 8n equals 104 times 4. Then we have 8n equals 416 because 104 times 4 equals 416. Then divide both terms by 8. So then we come up with n equals 416 divided by 8. Then n equals 52. Based from our number sentence, we have our direct proportion of 8 is to 4 equals 104 is to 52. And our complete answer is, there are 52 star apple trees for every 104 mango trees. For problem number 2, we construct our number sentence. We have 5 over 7 equals n over 14. Now we are going to get the cross product of the two ratios. 7 times n equals 7n and 14 times 5 equals 70. So equate the two products, 7n equals 70. Divide both terms by 7. We have n equals 10. Since n equals 10, and based from our number sentence, our direct proportion 5 over 7 equals 10 over 14. And the complete answer is, Mike can make 10 shots in 14 tries.
Do you already understand our lesson, class? Very good. And now it's time for you to do it on your own. Please answer the following activities.
Here is the direction for activity 1. Solve for n to complete the proportion of the following items. 1, 3 over 6 equals n over 24. 2, n over 25 equals 4 over 10. 3, 2 over 16 equals 7 over n. 4, 1 is to 4 equals 2 is to n. And 5n is to 3 equals 75 is to 25. Here is the direction for activity 2. Construct the number sentence based from the problem, then solve. Number 1. Nori can type 120 words in 3 minutes. How many words can she type in 8 minutes? Number 2. The Lahore Scrabble team has won 5 out of 7 games. At this rate, how many games did they win in 35 games?
Very nice, class. I know you have obtained the right answers. Now I have questions for you. Please answer.
What is direct proportion? Direct proportion means as one quantity increases, the other quantity increases at the same rate and vice versa. How do we find the missing term in a proportion? We find the missing term in a direct proportion by A. If the proportion is in the fraction form, get the cross products of numerator and denominator, then divide the product by the number beside the missing number represented by any letter. B. If the proportion is in the column form, multiply the two means and then the two extremes. Then divide the product by the number beside the missing number represented by any letter.
And to measure how well you have mastered our lesson for today, please answer the evaluation.
For part 1, solve for the value of missing number represented by letter n in the following direct proportion. Choose the letter of the correct answer. For part 2, construct a number sentence based from the following problems, then solve.
Congratulations, grade 6! I know every one of you obtained high scores. That would be all for today. This is your teacher Eds once again. See you next meeting!